us and to know a little bit better, and then we can start to have brainstorm. Let me start by myself. I am Ismunandar. I'm the deputy for delegate of Indonesia to UNESCO. With me, delegation. With that, I will pass the mic to Pak Amin, Mr. Amin, to introduce yourself and also your team, Pak, please.
All right. Good afternoon from Indonesia, Pak Ismo and Indonesian delegation in Paris, and also good afternoon to colleagues from UNESCO office in Paris. This is very nice to meet you again. And I am Aminuddin Aziz. I'm the head of the Agency for Language Development and Cultivation. I am accompanied by my staff here, Pak Imam Budi Utomo. He's the head of the Center for Language Preservation and Development, and also some other staff in his centers. We have Ayu, we have who else? Saiful Bahri, and we also have well, anyway, well, that's, I think, the introduction. Oh, also we have now here Ibu Dora. She's entering the meeting room. Yeah, Ibu Dora was the former head of the Center for Language Development and Conservation.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Pak Amin. Noro, you want to start from your side?
Okay, so I'm Noro Andriami Cesar. I'm in charge of languages in education at UNESCO headquarters. And we have a colleague from the education sector of UNESCO here at headquarters. We have a colleague from UNESCO Institute on Education. And we also have Ben Christie, who is in UNESCO Bangkok. So now, Eric, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noro. Good morning, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Erik Eschweiler. I'm working for the UNESCO Associated Schools Network of UNESCO. And yeah, we are coordinating the global network of schools around the world. Indonesia has also 80 schools part of our network. And we are closely working now with Noro and colleagues on the International Decade of Indigenous Language with a global project. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Eric. Florence, please.
Good morning, good afternoon. Good to see you, Ambassador. I think we have meeting last year. It was on inclusion and then disability. So I'm Florence Mijon. I'm the UNESCO lead on the Inclusion in Education program, where language is located. So I'm working with Noro here at the education sector. And until September, I am detached to the TESS Secretariat, the Transforming Education Summit. I'm sure you heard about the summit. And so I'm in the section, but I will be back end of September, back to normal work in the Inclusion in Education program. So very good to see all of you. Over to you, Noro.
Okay, I'm sorry. Some 4 colleagues are not, they would like to be connected, but they don't know where we are. So I'm going to send them the link. Colleague from literacy. Okay, over to you, Annapurna, please.
You are muted.
Is it better now? So good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet all of you virtually. I'm Annapurna Ayyappan, and I'm from the UNESCO Institute of Lifelong Learning in Hamburg, Germany. My main work here is in the Quality Learning Ecosystems team, and we work on projects related to technology and literacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annapurna. Who is next? Laura?
Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Laura. I'm working with Nora in the revision of the UNESCO Education in a Multilingual World position paper. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Laura. Don, please.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Dawn. I am also working in Noro's team. I'm an intern here, and I support in all the languages portion of things too.
Thank you. Rola? Rola?
Yes, thank you, Noro. I am Rola Mumne. I am working on the program on right to education in the section of education policy in education sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Rola. Seems to be something wrong with my colleague from literacy. There are 4 of them. They cannot see us, and I don't see them. I've just sent the link. Marie, are you here? Can you hear us, Mary? Oh, doesn't look like it's working.
Yeah, maybe not.
She was in the other one. Actually, she was in the other meeting, Outlook meeting.
Oh
Sorry,
dear.
the Zoom.
No,
Yeah,
I've just sent the new link. I've just sent the new link to them. So it's
so they will be joining soon, I'm sure.
okay. Christy,
Hi,
please.
Nora. Sorry to interrupt. So Marie has asked me to represent her for this meeting. I don't know if you can see me and hear me.
Yes,
Hi,
you
Nora.
can.
Yeah, we can.
Hi.
Yeah,
So
yes.
hi everyone, my name is Swikriti and I'm working now in the literacy section at UNESCO headquarters. And Marie has asked me to also be present on this meeting because just like Florence, she's also currently with the test secretariat and she'll be back to the section. So meanwhile, I'm handling the work related to literacy, and majorly I am coordinating the International Literacy Day, which will be happening on 8th and 9th September this year. Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome. Christy, I'm sorry. Christy, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from UNESCO Bangkok office. This is Christy. I'm leading inclusion in the education program in Asia Pacific. And we are also the co-chairs of Asia Pacific Multilingual Education Working Group. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Christy. I think we're done. I hope I didn't forget anyone. No, I think that's it. Thank you. Over to you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much, Noro. Thank you so much. And also it's very nice to see so many people here from Hamburg, from Bangkok, from other places, UNESCO field office, and also UNESCO Center and Institute. I hope that we have a nice and fruitful discussion. I think first of all, I would like to just give a little bit brief introductions that we Indonesia is interested to co-host with the UNESCO Secretariat and the International Mother Language Day for 2023 through communication, especially with Ms. Noro, that we've been the Secretariat has been agreed on our proposal. So based on that, we organized this morning brainstorming, especially if I can propose, the one is especially how we will conduct next year, probably. Hopefully that everything, the pandemic situation is getting better and better so that we can organize in presencia in the UNESCO Secretariat. In Indonesia later on, Mr. Amin can also give us a brief introduction on how the celebration on the program will be conducted, what kind of proposal or what kind of program that Indonesia will bring along in the program. And then out of that, Ms. Noros invite several parties here, like Institute of Lifelong Learning, Institute of what is IBE, Institute of Education, yeah. And then how these several parties can also involve and contribute to the celebrations. And then I think it is also important because that's also will shape how we will conduct the program, is the theme of the next year program. Whether we should have a brainstorm here, or we should like give us a time and then come back a little bit later with the proposal or with a discussion again on what is the selected theme for the next year program. That's basically just a proposal from me. If others will put also in the table what will be discussed during our brainstorming this morning, then feel free to add some more. And just a little bit administrative, Mr. Noro, whether the agreement on Indonesia proposal to co-host the next year IMLD supposed to be written in a letter or something, or this just our email conversation so far is enough to be like assign Indonesia as a co-host for the next meeting. Probably in the last question, if you can quickly respond, please.
Yes, it's better in writing, but I think it's enough. I can ask about that. On the terminology co-hosting, I checked already with our colleague. They suggest co-organizing, co-organizer. Yeah, do you agree with that? Yeah,
Mr. Amin, you and have
Shouldn't be a problem, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to put it in writing, that's fine. But I've already conveyed your wish to co-organize the International Mother Language Day 2023 with UNESCO, and it's very much welcome. Thank you.
Right. Okay. I'll draft the letter to UNESCO, and then I'll ask the Secretary General to sign officially and send it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pak. Yeah, Pak. You can send to us, Pak, and then we can forward it to Secretariat then. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, Pak Amin, you have the floor now. If anything that we should discuss in this meeting, please.
Right. Okay. First of all, thanks, Ambassador Ismunandar, and also thanks to Noro and her teams coming from many parts of the world. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude and appreciations for the approval of our proposal to co-organize, as Noro has just said, to co-organize the International Mother Language Day 2023 as a follow-up from our meeting and the celebration that we had this year. And this was followed by some discussion. Let me share with you some of the points that I have prepared for this meeting, so that we can refer to these materials for our discussion. Right. This is a little bit introduction that you might have known already. Indonesia has a good number of local languages. We have 718 local languages with 778 dialects and 43 subdialects. And this data was collected from the observations conducted in 2,560 places around the country for around 10 years. And it was published officially in 2019. if we look at we have only 5 languages: Kalimantan, Sulawesi, West Nusa Tenggara, only 3 is Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, and in Papua we have more than half of the local languages, 428 languages. So looking at this, then we can see the distributions of the languages compared to the populations. We'll see like this. The linguistic situation in western part of Indonesia, we have small number of local languages, but large and dense population in the western part of Indonesia. But if you look at the map to the east, in the eastern part of Indonesia, we have big number of local languages, but small and sparse population. So that's the situation that we have in Indonesia. From our language vitality studies, we have found the situations are like this, categorized as safe, unsafe, or vulnerable, endangered, severely endangered, critically endangered, and extinct. From our study, we have found in 2019, the number is like this, but last year, we conducted more studies on the vitality of the languages, of the local languages, than with the category of vulnerable local languages added up to 31, because there are more 4 more languages categorized as unsafe or vulnerable. And this is something that we feel sorry about this. The endangered languages, local languages, add 14 more. We have found 14 more languages added to this endangered category. And if we look at the situation, even in this category, the extinct category, we have lost 11 languages, in the eastern part of Indonesia. And we see that the extinction of languages happens mainly no longer use or transmit the languages onto the next generation, and also because of the number of the population, the speakers who speak the language decreases. That's the main causes for the language extinction. Realizing this, then we have discussed this with the minister and with the team in the Minister of Education and Culture, Research and Technology, how we can do for the to conserve the language, to save the language. And then through the episode 17, what we call this freedom for learning, or we call Merdeka Belajar. This is the flagship of the program that was used in the very first time when the minister was appointed by the president. He proposed this flagship program, Merdeka Belajar. And through in English, this one is freedom for learning. And through the episode number 17, it was launched with the title Revitalization of Local Languages. And this concept is different from the ones that we have had before. And we adopt these principles. Number one is it is more dynamic, meaning that it focuses more on the developing of the language than on the protection through conservation only. In the past, we only talked about conservation. We document the language, language data, but we almost forgot about the how to develop the language. And it is more adaptive in the sense that it is adjusted to schools, environment, and speech communities. Number three, it is specific focus. that is it is focused on the speakers from younger generation who are now in the primary and secondary school ages. And number 4, it is more creative, meaning that it provides more rooms for creative uses of languages. And the focus, the target of the revitalization universal, meaning that it includes speech communities, it includes teachers, principals, and school supervisors, and also students as the main targets of the revitalization. In the past, we only focus more on the speakers in the communities, and we seldom involved teachers, principals, and supervisors, as well as the students. Sorry. For that, to address this concept, then we developed 3 models. We call this for the moment model A, model B, and model C. What we mean by these models, it depends on the circumstances, the environment where the languages are spoken, where the languages are used by the speakers. We can see here for model A, for example, the circumstances, first about the level of the vitality. It is still safe, it is categorized as safe, but because the number of the speakers is declining, then there is no guarantee that the language will be alive forever. And for example, I can see I can share with you the number of Sundanese has decreased for up to 2 million in the last 10 years. The number of speakers of Sundanese around 45 million, and in the last 10 years it decreases up to 2 million speakers. And this is also applicable to Javanese and Balinese. The second one, it still has the good numbers of active speakers, and it is still used as the major or dominant languages for communication in the communities. So in other words, these languages, this situation is still guaranteed that they will still use the languages, but there is no guarantee that they will use this forever, and the number of the speakers will increase in the long run. We are not certain about that. So we adopt an approach where the language is transmitted through formal learning at schools. It is included in the curriculum. It is included in the local exam. So there is a formal learning here. And we also adopt the integrated contextual and creative learning, focusing on learners' interest, what we call as learner-centered for this, because these languages, these local languages are taught officially in schools. And this is quite different from model B, where the levels of the vitality of the languages is categorized as vulnerable. This only has fairly good number of speakers, and there are some other languages, local languages, that are used competitively with other languages. So the situations like in North Sumatra, in South Sulawesi, where there are more than one language spoken by the communities. In this situation, there are at least 3 or 4 local languages are used by the communities. So for this, we adopt different approaches. So other than through limited formal learning at school. So I said this language more, meaning that the speakers of communities to the languages to the next generation. And if that's the situation, then we can see how strong it is, the involvement of the local language activists. So their roles are very important, very significant in this case. While here, the role of teachers are more evident. Model C, the circumstances very small with limited domain of usages. Probably it is only limited to the usage in the family, in the very small communities, but there is no formal learning for this. And this is found in areas like in Central Kalimantan, East Kalimantan, East Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, North Maluku, and in Papua. So for this, we adopt different approaches. Because transmission is only through community-based learning, and we rely on the involvement of the community. So the transmission, the teaching of the languages, the local languages can take place in places of worships, like in the churches, in the mosques, or in some other parts of the villages, and in the village offices, and in some other possible places. So that's the initiative that we have had last year, and we continue these activities, these projects this year. And now we involve 12 provinces with 39 local languages. For this International Mother Language Day, we have found that UNESCO has this series of themes from 2017. This is the theme, 28, 29, 2020, 21, and last year we follow UNESCO's theme as using technology for multilingual learning challenges and opportunities. This is from 2017 up to 2022. For next year, we propose these 4 themes that we can choose, or we can find another as we may agree later on. Number 1, probably this is relevant to what we have done in the last 2 years, from last year until this year, revitalizing local languages in multilingual context. This is our revitalization projects. Or we can also focus on this mother language and literacy development as the second proposed theme. Or we can see how mother language can be associated with cultural preservation, and we can also take this topic for our theme, that is mother language and the rights for learning. So it will depend on our discussion. What programs that we propose? This is proposal for the version 1. This event will take place, as Pa Ismo has mentioned, probably in Paris in the 21st of February 2023, in the morning up to afternoon. And we will begin our programs at around 10 with the official opening, where the minister and the DG of UNESCO and also the ambassador will give official remarks, and followed by short video from Indonesia, and also presentation and discussion with the team depending on what we can agree. And speakers can come from Indonesia, 2 to 3 speakers. They will speak up to 15 minutes. And we are thinking of inviting the representative from Papua New Guinea to become the speaker, and also from African countries representatives to involve in our discussion from 11 to 13. And in the afternoon, we propose to have cultural performance. This is Indonesian cultural performance based on the what is it? The literature, yeah, that we have in Indonesia, because we have brought some scripts, cultural scripts, and then it is now becoming the like dances or drama or songs, right? And this will be concluded with video screening and poster viewing from worldwide. We will invite, in coordination with UNESCO office, we will invite members, member countries to share videos and posters for to be viewed in this session. And this is version number 2. It can be like this. Yeah, after the official opening, yeah, we will begin with cultural performance, and this will be followed by panel discussions, yeah, question and answers, and also closing remark in the afternoon. And in the afternoon session, we can also have, let's say, if possible, we propose to have a discussion on how, let's say, how Indonesian language can become an official language, or the lingua franca in ASEAN countries, for example, or in wider use. Yeah. So this is the proposal that we have. And for the timeline, because we have begun our revitalization project, then we will also include, as part of our celebration for next year's event. We are now here for the preparation, and from August to December, we will have pre-international seminar or webinar hosted by our office in Jakarta. We will invite people from other countries to take part. And during October, because October is always becomes the month of language and literature for our country, for the whole month from the 1st until 30th of October, then we will have virtual exhibition, and then this will be followed by pre-celebration of Mother Language Festival for young generation. And this is a kind of festival from around Indonesia to show how they have done the revitalization projects. And this is a kind of festival and celebration. And for next year, we will have a virtual exhibition from the 1st to 21st of February. And we will also have Mother Language Festival celebration week celebrated in Indonesia and in other parts of the world, yeah, organized by UNESCO and our office in Jakarta. And we are expecting to have international seminar as the followed up from here to there, yeah. And then as the Well, this is the celebration that we will have in Paris, with the agenda as the one that I have mentioned before. So that's basically what we have prepared, and I think we can start from this topic for our discussion. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Ismo, and also the team and Noro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amin. It's very impressed with all very well prepared in terms of program. So, colleague from UNESCO, this is open for discussion now. I invite colleague to comment, to give a question if there is any things that should be asked or not very clear from the presentation. As I and also Noro put it in the message that sometimes we cannot hear very clearly the sound from Mr. Amin, but I think because there is a slide presentation, I believe that most of us can follow the presentation more or less clearly. With that, I invite Noro, if you can start, probably. Sorry to just directly pinpoint to you. And then your colleague also, please.
Yes, thank you very much. We didn't hear well from time to time. That's fine. We had the slides as to support the presentation, so we had a very good presentation. Thank you very much. Within a few minutes, we had a very nice, a very comprehensive overview of language situation in Indonesia, and I like the idea of revitalization, that it means more development than protection. So thank you. As I said, we learned a lot. Now about the International Mother Language Day 2023, I have a few comments. First of all, as you know, International Mother Language Day is an international day. So, I will get back to that in a minute. It's an intersectoral program that it's celebrated by all UNESCO program sectors, that is science, culture, education, social and human sciences. We try to have a diversity of topics of presentations during the celebration on 21st of February. Even though we have only one theme, we try to have a comprehensive theme as much as possible. I have noted the 4 themes you have suggested. I believe it's one theme, but not all of them, but that's a question for you later on. I would like to make a quick...
Do you want me to show again the proposed themes?
Later on, please. Yeah, right. I would like to make a small, introduce the background of International Mother Language Day. As you may know, it was a resolution of UNESCO General Conference. This resolution was presented by Bangladesh. That's why Bangladesh is closely associated with the celebration of International Mother Language Day. The 21st of February is in fact a date which was proposed to UNESCO from Bangladesh, and it was accepted as part of a resolution. Then my point is, Bangladesh, we have what we call the Secretariat's event. Usually we have it in the morning of the 21st of February. This is the international celebration. And in the afternoon, Bangladesh usually celebrates their events with UNESCO's delegations, which is a separate event from the Secretariat. it's not the Secretariat's event. So I'm not sure I am clear, but I'm happy to have questions from you on that. My suggestion is perhaps Indonesia can have a celebration on the 20th of February or 22nd of February, or in the afternoon of the 21st of February, but in parallel with Bangladesh event. I'm pretty sure Bangladesh is going to organize their own event, as they always did since the past 10 years now. And they have this huge celebration with more than 20 delegations. Of course, we are very happy to have this proposal from Indonesia. Now, my concern is this, I'm not sure about that in one day we can accommodate the Secretariat's event, Indonesia. Perhaps something which can be planned is Indonesia having a parallel event or a regional event. I'm not sure. I think I will anyway convey your proposal to my hierarchies, but we are very happy to have this proposal. And Florence, you may wish to take the floor. Actually, we were planning to, sorry, somebody said I don't have my video on. Yeah, I forgot. Actually, we are planning in the morning session to have a session on from policy to practice. And we would like to have promising practices from all regions of the world. In the afternoon, we may have a round table, we are not sure yet, on small island development states, languages and education, but it's open to other countries, of course. It's not only for SEEDS countries. That's my comment from now. Your proposal is, we could see it's very comprehensive, as I said, and we really need initiatives like that from country, from policy to practice, how you handle this different language situation, extinct, endangered, etc., or threatened, for other countries to not to replicate, but to inform other countries who are in the same situation. Now, perhaps Florence, do you want to add something? Thank you. Florence or Rola? Rola.
Sorry, before Florence, may I
yes,
interrupt
please.
a little bit? Yeah,
yes,
sorry,
please.
Noro,
yes, please.
well, we also have a communication with the Bangladesh delegation to UNESCO regarding the possibility to do the joint video and posters, as Mr. Amin has been presented, video and posters exhibition. Yeah, but when we look at your agenda in 2022, I believe, 2020, then you have a morning celebration, and then in the afternoon you have roundtable of Kiswahili language, I believe. So
correct.
When you have that, where is the Bangladeshi celebration then?
It was a they had a separate event in Miolis Bonva. They had their evening celebration with all the about 20 delegations, where they had exhibitions, presentations, food, like a food corner. So it was in the evening. Yeah.
Okay. So that's also open, yeah. That's kind of
yes,
open. Okay,
it's open, and they invited ADGED or DG. I think ADGED went or to the celebration in the evening. Yeah, they do invite the secretary. It's an open event. Yes.
No, I mean, it is also possible to organize a one-day event with Indonesia as a co-organizer, then Bangladesh having a separate parallel event or something.
Yeah, we'll take good note of that. We'll discuss among us, but it's
Okay.
yes, of course, it could be possible. Yeah. Florence,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Ambassador.
Florence?
Perhaps I can
Yeah,
give the
Florence.
floor to Florence now. Florence?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for this very comprehensive presentation and proposal from Indonesia. Now, just I won't repeat what Noro just said. Just to think, for the themes, as Noro was saying, I think we need a little bit more time internally to discuss and really because the day is a global day. The theme should be for all countries, and what we want to see is some concrete, programs or projects that really support the theme of the day. So in this sense, I think the experience of Indonesia is truly of value, very, very relevant and interesting. What we wanted to see also is we have also to analyze the previous themes, not to repeat again and again the same issues. So I think it will be interesting. Maybe we do some kind of homework among ourselves to see what themes have been missing for the past years. We know that COVID, COVID changed a little bit the way, countries also were developing their policies, especially when it comes to inclusion. And we know that more and more groups have been excluded because also of the pandemic. The idea of from policy to practice is really maybe if we can focus on more really to see how this legal framework, this policy framework could be translated into real and effective practice on the ground at the school level, at the community level, in learning centers, not only for children and young people, but also for adults. And here I think we can bring in the literacy aspect. So it's really to see how to translate. I think the issue of translation from normative policy framework to real and concrete practices, this is something that is interesting, and countries are often struggling in really implementing effective teaching and learning practices that are really inclusive and that respect, mother tongue or multilingualism. So this issue of transition, how to translate this to more practical at the classroom or the learning setting, learning setting is important. Plus having this lifelong learning approach, not only focusing on one level, but really from birth to adult education throughout life. It's we have the SDG4 framework that really provide us with a strong clear direction to lifelong learning. This is something that is important. And the last aspect also want to see how you because your work and your policy are really, really interesting, how this could be linked also to the work at the regional level. So maybe our colleague Christy could say a few words to tell us how Bangkok organized this IMLD in the previous years, and maybe how Bangkok will work with you, Indonesia, for this 2023 edition, and how the regional perspective could also fit into this global approach for the IMLD that will be celebrated here. And last but not least, maybe I think it will be interesting definitely to have a cultural event on the day here at UNESCO headquarters. This is something that should be planned well in advance. But if we can, see with you and maybe Bangladesh, maybe to have a joint or a cultural event that could be, proposed by you. I hope you have some budget, because as you know, the budget for the day is very limited. We have very limited budget, but definitely we'll be very happy to work with you to see if we can organize something in room 1 or to show your cultural also approach and cultural diversity. Kirsty, she can say a few words about the Bangkok's work and how this could be related, and then maybe Rola and Marie. Thank you. Over to you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Florence. For UNESCO Bangkok, we have been organizing the celebration with the Embassy of Bangladesh and also the Mahidol University in Thailand. But there are occasions that we had a joint celebration with the UNESCAP as well. So it depends on who approached us first, kind of. But we follow the the focal points that we given by the HQ, and then we usually have the op-ed piece by us or the members of the Asia Pacific Multilingual Education Working Group. And last year, because we couldn't have the in-person meeting, we organized a webinar to celebrate the IMLD as well. Just to note on the I mean, I guess it has to be celebrated in an umbrella of the International Decade of Indigenous Language. And also, I think it's important to link the issue of preservation or revitalization of the language linked to more future forward-looking agenda, like, for example, like a test, not only with, SDG 4. I think that would be important to look at. And a lot of our activities that we're planning at the moment, we are also trying to align our program with that in mind. For next year, we will be organizing International Conference on Language and Education in October. So that's something we are thinking of using the IMLD to kind of stepping stone leading towards our international conference. So that's something we can also take in mind. But I mean, if the global day is packed with the Bangladesh, the organized events, it can be done at the regional level as well. Something we can consider in Bangkok office with the UNESCAP. So yeah, I will leave it up to the discussion with the HQ and the permanent delegation.
Thank you, Christy. Ambassador, do you have comments or?
Thank you. So, I will pass to the Pak Amin and team if there is any reply from the comment from colleague from UNESCO.
Yeah, thank you for the comments from Noro, Flor, and Chrissy. What we have showed before regarding the topics, the theme, this is something that, of course, we think from, like you, from policy to practice levels, because we don't want to talk about only the policies without any practical follow-up, right? So what we have in our mind is that this is our experience, because we have already regulations in Indonesian case, right? In Indonesian case, we have already the regulation, many regulations, but sometimes we do not execute the regulation. So from now on, we are thinking in different ways, just because of the what we call revolution, a little bit, right? Revolution from the minister. No, we want to have this, we want to have that. We do not want to make it like idle, the policy not executed. So the minister urged us to make an action, and our projects from last year's and also this year, this is a kind of examples how we execute the regulation and bring it into the practices. So that's the idea. So I agree completely with your comments that we will have to talk about something about the policies level and the practice level. I agree. So we can discuss more on this. And with regard to the comments from Christy, I actually have personally spoken to the ambassador of Bangladesh to Indonesia, and I mentioned to him clearly that we would like to have a kind of joint celebration in the country, in Indonesia, like the one that we had for this year. Although this is very small celebration, but we have begun our collaboration with the Embassy of Bangladesh in Jakarta. And they attended our celebration, we attended their celebration, and we have kind of joint programs between Indonesia and Bangladesh. And I mentioned clearly to him that this year we will want to bring this idea to UNESCO level, to more global level. And he said, the Excellency said, why not just share this information with our representative in UNESCO? And I have mentioned this to Ambassador Ismunandar about this, and he has followed this up, as we have heard from him before, right? So I think that's my response, Pak Ismu. And with regard to the times, the morning, afternoon, and evening celebrations, I will follow whatever the decision. If we can have, let's say, half of the day, our event, and then in the evening or the afternoon we have joint event parallel with Bangladesh, to me that's completely fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Amin. Yeah, Noro, you want to respond, or Christy?
No, just just to say thank you to Mr. Amin. We took good note, and thank you very much for being open. And we'll convey this to our hierarchies and discuss, and we'll come back with you with responses, with feedback. Yes.
Okay, now, I mean, if there is any question now from Mr. Amin's side to UNESCO, if there's anything that still need to be discussed, Pak Amin, Pak Imam, and friends from Jakarta.
I'm still thinking about the programs that we will have if we do this in Paris, yeah, Pak Ismu, and how we will organize this, how we work with other parties. And I know you will have some coordination from your side there, and if we are given more information about how we can do this, then that will be very helpful, so that, as Flora mentioned about the budget, then we will have to prepare for this because we need the discussion with the team in the ministerial level, yeah, for the support of for the funding for next year, because we will do this in the early 2023, which is the beginning of the fiscal year in Indonesia. So we will have to make sure that if we want to do this, and we will have to secure the funding in advance. That's my concern. Well, Christy, I will share with you the slides.
Yeah.
Noro, you want to comment?
Yes, I was looking for the hand, but I didn't find it, so I'm sorry.
No. And then your video is still off. Your video is still off.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just to say that we are not sure we're going to have person-to-person event next year. We are very much, we don't know yet. We hope we'll have a celebration at the headquarters in person. I mean, inviting people. We are not yet there, so it depends very much on the evolution of the sanitary situation in France, I believe elsewhere, since now we are very much interconnected. So if it's virtual, it's less expensive, huh, Florence? When it is hybrid, it's a bit difficult to run, but perhaps we can have that with you, with a few ambassadors, and most probably virtual for participants from regions of the world. We still don't know yet. That's what I meant to say. Thank you.
Florence, you want to add some more on the organization?
Sorry, no, not now. I think we need more, discussion, including with our services here. But no, it's true that in person would be great. But let's discuss a bit later. Thank you.
Okay, well, I think we achieved a lot during our meeting. At least the proposal from Indonesia is very solid, as we all see. We have several options to decide which one we will continue on which option that we will conduct the next year celebrations. But as Mr. Amin also pointed out, that time is clicking, and 2023 February is not far from now. And the next challenge, as Pak Amin just mentioned, is that in Indonesia, the budget cycle is January, and sometimes January it's mean end up with in March, sometimes end up with June. Oh no, it's not June. I'm just joking. Sometimes end up with March. Sometimes, so that's quite challenge. So what I propose now, I think we have homework to digest what Indonesian proposal is, and then we, as soon as possible, then we can get together again on several issues that we want to discuss, which option we want to pursue, to do next, and the detail. Then we can start to discuss the detail after that. I see Rola raising hand. Rola, you want to?
I have shared the PowerPoint here.
Yeah.
I've dropped this into
Thank you, Pak. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
you.
Everyone. I
Colleague
hope everyone can.
presentation then as a reference, as Pak Amin mentioned.
Yeah.
Then it is already in chat box. Rola, you raise a hand if you want to say something, please.
Oh, thank you so much. No, actually, I just wanted first of all, to thank you very much for this very extremely clear presentation. I like the idea of what Florence said, the translation of policies to practice, but I would link it also to what you mentioned, revitalization of local languages. When you mentioned the concept, I think the creative aspect is important. The creative uses of languages, ways to implement policies through creative ways and uses in light of the transformation of education. I think it's interesting. I would have loved to hear more about the actions and examples from you, but I think we can do that later on. Beyond that, I just wanted to mention that you earlier talked about the different themes, the selection of themes, and I think Noro also mentioned that. I'm just wondering what is the timeline for that, for the selection. You mentioned 4 possible themes. The first one with on revitalizing local languages in multilingual context. I think it's very relevant in light of your presentation, but there were also 3 other themes to be selected, and this is maybe also a question to my colleagues when this selection will intervene. I just wanted to say that I think, what was suggested earlier in terms of reviewing what has been done lately in the past years, it would be important to not to maybe to have a slightly different approach this time. Just to mention that the fourth suggestion was about protecting mother language and the rights for learning. I think this could be interesting if we want this time to have a focus on this rights-based approach. I think this will be this will be important. And I wanted also to mention that one of our priorities now for the next months, we will be focusing on minorities' rights, including linguistic minorities and languages rights. And we will be publishing a report that also addresses this question. So I think it will be, if this theme is selected, it will be nice, nice articulation to make with that. And this would also embrace a lifelong learning perspective. I think Florence mentioned this. I think this, addressing rights beyond schools and formal education. So just a suggestion, and just to give this piece of information that maybe also can be considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rola. I think for the, well, Rola mentioning that either Indonesia or Noro and teams can decide the timeline regarding the teams. Yeah. Florence, you may want to respond in terms of when we should have a fixed theme for the next year celebration, please.
Yeah, for us, the sooner the better.
Yeah, I think Noro is a better position to respond to that. I hope by end of September, Noro, or even before.
Laura?
Yeah,
Laura?
yes. I've been, usually we decide by the end of September. We have a film by the end of September. Yes.
All right.
Okay. You need holiday first, yeah?
No, not at all. We discuss among us with the team at headquarters, and we discuss with a colleague from regional offices, field offices, and we come up with an agreement on the theme, which we hope to be as comprehensive as possible. You could see there is some repetition. Why? Because multilingualism and linguistic diversity are very broad. If we choose education only, we have some blames from our from colleagues from other sectors, like we do. It doesn't accommodate all interventions. That's why you have this repetition. But we are of course open to new themes, which are broad enough, as long as it stays within the SDG 4 and lifelong learning. I didn't mention the decade of indigenous languages, but of course it has. We always include a topic or an intervention. I would say intervention from our field colleague or experts or representative from indigenous peoples. We have a topic on indigenous languages. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. If as Amin mentioned, this the sooner is the better for Indonesia, because that's will shape and also determine what the content of the celebration is there. So back again to the next meeting, whether colleague from UNESCO can probably give answer to this, whether we should and possible to have a meeting before you all have a break of the summer. So that's mean, I don't know, whether in the next 2 weeks, or is it possible, Noro? Florence?
Yeah, I would say you perhaps we'll send you an invitation. I mean, within 2 weeks. Yeah, that could be possible, knowing that it's summertime, as you said, in Paris, and people will go on leave. But I will be around. Some of us will be around. Not as many colleagues as today. I have no idea, but I will be around. So in 2 weeks, I think it's feasible. Yes.
Okay. So if we can get a comment back to your hierarchy on the proposal, and then if possible, like the time frame for the team, and also the time frame for the preparation for the day next year. Yeah. So most of is like the comment from our proposal. Yeah, from several options that we already put in the presentation and things like that. Is that okay, Pak Amin?
Yeah, from our side, as my homework will be that I will prepare the letter and then explain in the letter all the aspects that we have just shared with you and how we will want to follow this up with you and the team. So, well, I will do this as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any colleague for more comments? I think we are done from our side. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. With that, again, thank you for the fruitful discussion, and we will get together again in 2 weeks. So say from now is early August, yeah. 2 weeks mean about a 3rd of August. If that, hopefully, as Florence and Noro mentioned, I will see most of you still, although it's in summer holiday. Thank you so much.
Holiday
and have
time.
a
Thank you.
good day.
Thank you to
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cukup, Mbak Raina.